So, does anyone know who this gentleman is? By the way, a small hint, he's from Great Britain. Yes, um, Dr. Francis says this is Winston Churchill. It is. It's Sir Winston Churchill. So why are we putting his picture here on the screen? Well, before he had up the war effort for Great Britain, he had a remark that's pretty remarkable. He said, all his life has prepared him for this exact 1 hour, exact one moment. And this, I hope, sends a message for all of us, because whatever we do before, our life at this moment, right, it's a combination of everything that we did before. Highs and lows, challenges, ups and downs, and growth. Everything has prepared us for this moment, for the next moment to come. And in terms of the bigger context too, right? Everything that we did in the past 10 weeks actually prepare for this week. What does it mean? That means this week's material actually builds on everything that happened before. Please allow me to quickly break it down for you. Today, we're talking about habit number 6, synergize. Synergize, what is synergize, right? What is synergy and why is it important? Before we get into that, I just want to voice who this is for, right? Who is this prepared for? You might be wondering, oh, maybe I didn't attend some of the lectures previously, but that's okay, because this is for 2 types of people. First type is people who are in teams. Today is designed for team players, for people who want to contribute more in their teams and to be a more contributing member. The second type is for people who are the leads in the team. It's for people who want to maximize the group outcomes and effectiveness within teams. And of course, right, the goal is to recognize the importance of synergy and continue to practice the level of synergy in our relationships and groups. So Winston Churchill, right, the quote is saying, everything has prepared us for this hour. Similar to synergy and habit number 6, everything from habit number 1, proactivity, habit number 2, habit number 3, has all prepared us for this exact same moment right here. So is habit number 4 and 5. And let me explain to you a little bit why, and we'll explain this in a later context. So how do we go about synergy then? What is this topic? How can we approach this, right? This morning, from the conversation with my dad, we described an effective strategy that the Japanese uses, and it is called the 5-step process. It's explaining, right, in order to make something clear, we use 5 steps. What are the 5 steps? Number 1 is the why. Why is it important? Number 2 is the how. How can we create the synergy? Number 3 is the improvements. Is there anything that we can improve before we get off to our day-to-day activities? Number 4 is understanding, seeking that we are getting on the same page in discussion. And number 5, last but not least, is about action. How can we take the best action forward? So I hope that this 5-step process is something that we can take today, because this isn't about one person. It's about the synergy. I believe that this creates the best synergy in terms of explaining a topic, right? So step number 1, why is synergy important? I want to start with, right, a quick, I guess, anecdote and a question. Do we have any people right here that knows or are fans of Avengers? Anyone who are fans of Avengers? I'm scared that my mom doesn't know who it is. No? Superhero movies? Okay, maybe I'm just too immature. Gosh, I'm a little bit too immature. Okay, so Avengers. I guess they're not Avengers fans, but that's okay. That's okay. Allow me to explain a little bit of why I choose this picture then. So, Avengers is basically a group of superheroes that are unique in a certain way. Take each individual, right? Individually, they're actually kind of freaks. They're supernatural people. In Avengers, you might have heard of the Hulk, right? This green monster who is so powerful that destroys everything in sight. You might have heard of Iron Man, who's this super clever. He's actually a CEO of a corporation, and he turns himself into a machinery, right? A lead robot. You might have heard of Captain America, who lived back in the 1940s, and he's injected a serum and he become a freak of nature, basically a lot of muscles, very, very powerful. Or even Black Widow, a former assassin of KGB, and she is a truly unique individual who said that she went through a very, very dark place where she can't rely on anyone. So why are we talking about Avengers and how does it relate to synergy? Well, individually, if we see any of these characters just walking on the street or just in normal lives, they would be considered freaks, right? They're not normal individuals. However, together, these Avengers, they form a force of justice, a force for humanity, and a force of synergy. Together, they tackle tasks that individual cannot tackle. And together in the movies, they solve the humanity and they save everyone on Earth. Okay. So I hope this is not a bad example. I guess next time I'll use something different. Um, but that's what synergy is about. Synergy isn't about one individual. It's not about one person, but it's about a team. It's about parts. The definition of synergy, right? I guess why is something different? It's great. Thank you, Francis Ai. So why do we use that example, right? Because I believe that we're all Avengers, right? I believe that we all have our unique perspectives and our superpowers. All have our talents, right? So if gathered together, we can create a force much bigger than our own. That synergy individually, we might not have what's needed to create such a big impact, but together as a team, right, we can create something much bigger. So what is synergy then? What does it mean? Why are we talking about this, right? Simply defines, it just means that the whole is greater than each of the parts. An example here will be a puzzle, right? Puzzles for each individual part, as we're putting the puzzles together, we're kind of confused because we don't know what this one puzzle means. And here on the top, this is a puzzle that hasn't been put together yet. And we see the little individuals that, if taken out individually, one piece of puzzle is very, very insignificant. However, if we put it together, this comes a spectrum, a beautiful piece of completeness, the wholeness, right? Synergy means that each individual puzzle might be imperfect, might have its specialities, but together they form something that the parts, right? It's not just the parts, but the relationship between the parts, how the puzzles are put together, create something that individual parts can never do. So that's what synergy is. Okay. However, many people, myself included, have not utilized a lot of synergies uh, in our lives. For example, right? A lot of times we go for compromises. So 1 plus 1 maybe equal 1/2, or 1 plus 1 equals 1. We go for areas that we think are correct, but we do not see a third alternative. We do not see that synergy is possible. So the goal of today is to actually recognize not just the importance of synergy, but that it is possible. And the question is, how can we achieve such synergy then, if it's possible? How can we achieve something greater than just ourselves, something better? There are, in general, two areas, right, One is the character. To achieve synergy, we first need our foundational character, the internal security. And the number two is the mindset of valuing differences, valuing something that each individual has, not because we're all the same, but we gather because we are different, right? Like the exercise that Maddie did before this, we are different. She told me that, this question, it's open for interpretation because each of us interpret differently. We might have different answers. We might understand it differently. That's the reason why. So number one, character, internal security. This actually is the combination of the habit 1 to 3. Remember habit 1, right? Be proactive. Habit 2, begin with end in mind. And habit 3, seek first thing first. That creates the character and internal security. Without this character, without this internal security, right, synergy is often a very, very creative process. And it's literally on the verge of chaos. When everyone throwing new perspectives, new ideas, when puzzles are first being laid out, it's chaotic. It's kind of, I don't know what to do with all these different pieces, right? What do we do when we first have this puzzle? Well, we laid it out, but we also check the final product. We checked the internal security of where we're headed. And that's what's required the first step. In order to achieve synergy, in order to creatively cooperate, right, it's necessary that we first have internal security of who we each individual are. And that's habit 1 to 3. And it creates, right, immense potential for what's possible. As we all have our individual foundation, then we can truly be creative, be open with each other, and create these immense possibilities. Okay, so before we begin, or before we go on, I just want to take a pause to ask if there's any questions, any thoughts on this part right here. Character and internal security before we go into valuing differences or next step in synergy, right? The requirement of synergy. Yeah, Dr. Francis says, can you unpack the term internal security a bit for us? Yes, of course. So the idea of internal security is this idea of principles and values. It's a security that doesn't come from the externals. It's security that doesn't based on things that are out there. It's a security that comes only from what's inside. Things like principles, like integrity or character. And it's security that doesn't base upon what's happening on the outside. And the reason why internal security is important is because as we are having chaos on the external, right? The only certainty that we are craved to certainty, and the only certainty that we can grab onto are the internal certainties, are the value that knowing that even though it's very chaotic, even though there's a lot of ambiguities, but we're moving towards the place that we want to go. And we're going towards a place that is secure because of our inner compass, because of our inner value and principles. Does that make sense? That's a great question, though, by the way. Like one's identity under the surface. Exactly. Thank you for that question. That's very, very helpful. And the number 2, valuing differences. This is the area that personally I was shocked at this idea of valuing differences. You see, I wish to explain the importance of valuing differences through this short story, The Animal Schools, right? Do you guys have a favorite animals? And please type in the chat who your favorite animal is. Penguins. Oh, that's a good animal. Dolphins. Okay. Cindy I said dolphin. Madison says tiger. Okay. Very fierce. Dr. Francis says eagle. Okay. Animal school. So let's imagine that a penguin, a dolphin, a tiger, and an eagle are attending a school, the same school together, right? In schools, we have curriculums because we're going to graduate and we have sets of values or sets of curriculum set for everyone. So penguins, we know penguins are good at swimming. They're wobbly. They walk, right? They're wobbly, but they're very very fast at swimming. Dolphins are also excellent swimmers. Okay, tigers are fast runners. Maybe they can climb on the savannas, right? In this area, maybe if there's a little bit hill, they can climb the hill. And eagles are excellent flyers, right? Excellent birds in the sky. So imagine in this school, there are different sets of courses. There's a climbing course. Okay, let's see. What if there's a running course? There's a swimming course. Okay, and there's a flying course. Let's make it even, or let's make it fair. So imagine during a climbing course, penguin goes through climbing course. Penguins can climb, but they don't have the hands necessary to make that climb very, very great. So maybe they get kind of not the best score in climbing. However, penguins are excellent swimmers. They get perfect score in swimming, right? Can penguin fly? I don't think so, right? Penguins can't really fly, so they may be not good at flying either. And last but not least, running. Penguins they're okay at walking. Maybe sometimes they're in a hurry. They can run pretty fast as well. Let's see dolphins. Dolphins are great swimmer. They swim very very fast. However, right, dolphin when going through climbing, going through running, and going through flying, dolphin doesn't know what to do. Okay, imagine the schoolmaster saying, "Hey, dolphin, no, that's not okay. You gotta pass all your other classes before you're able to graduate." So what does dolphin do? Eventually, dolphin has to sacrifice the water, and dolphin comes online and comes on land. Dolphin try to walk. So dolphin's fin and dolphin's entire body is trying to walk, and he's not that good at swimming anymore because of the damage it has on his body. And dolphin can't climb that well, and dolphin can't fly. So what a disaster for this dolphin, right? He's a average walker at best, but he can't swim that fast anymore. What about tigers? Tigers are great runners. But what if the schoolmaster tell the tiger, hey, there's a course on flying. You have to go try to fly. And the tiger's like, man, I can't fly. I'm a little bit too, I'm not built for flying. And the professor or the schoolmaster says, hey, tiger, you try to go swim. And tiger jumps in the water and finds itself very, very hard to tread. So after a while, the tiger tried to manage to swim in the water and managed to try his best to pass the course. However, in the process, his feather fell out and he became very, very exhausted and his running skill decreases. Last but not least, eagles. So the eagle goes to school and the principal says, hey, eagle, you're an excellent flyer, but what about running? And eagle wants to run, but the eagle wants to run in his own way. He wants to use his wings to glide through the course, and that's how he's the fastest. And the schoolmaster said, no, 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 you can't do that. That's against the rule. We have this rule that everyone has to be fair and equal. That's against the rule. So if the schoolmaster tells the eagle to to climb, right? And eagles are excellent flyers, but it doesn't want to climb according to the rule. It wants to it wants to fly up the cliff. So we see that in this school, in the beginning, everyone is good at maybe one course, but is not the best at every single course. And at the end, right, they're average at best. Why do we tell this story? And why is this story significant? Well, this story shows that we each individual, we're all part of this animal school, that we have our excellences, we have our different perspectives, we have our own uniqueness. Okay. For example, something that I appreciate about Maddie just now was she was explaining her question to me, And she was saying the reason why she wanted to promote the question. And she was saying, hey, I don't want to press all the ideas onto people. I want people to just, it's open for interpretation, right? So I don't want people to kill people's thought process. I want people to think on their own. And that opened something in me too, because all of the doses before, I always say, hey, why should we do this? How should we do this? And what exactly step 1, 2, 3 should we do? I was like, wow, that's truly artistic. That's like creative, right? So I really appreciate it. However, I do also believe that our education system is similar to this animal school in terms that we're evaluated under the same standards. For example, right, our society, in schools, we're valued by our GPAs. Doesn't matter who you are. Is your GPA isn't the best, then that says something about you. And on social media, we're valued by the same standard, same sets of standard. What's good, right? The same poses and lightings. In life, a lot of us are valued by the same sets of wealth, the standard of wealth, right? But what if this person might not get the highest GPA in the school, but has this intelligence in other area, artistically or creatively, that can enrich the entire humanity? What if this person might not be right on the standard of beauty by the social media, but has this internal sense of value and beauty that makes the entire world says, whoa, this heart is so gold? What if this person, right, doesn't have all the external wealth in the world, but has the internal wealth that can enrich the entire nation? What if we put those people through the same system and tell them, hey, you're not enough or your value isn't there because of the outside rules, because of the standards we set for each and every one of them? What if, in terms of a puzzle, instead of putting pieces together, we cut each piece because they're different, and then we put pieces, the each individual squares together instead of putting them together, right? We see how each individual, we're different, but that's why we communicate. We're different. That's why we're created, right? We're different. That's why we have different perspectives, and that's why we formulate the teams and groups that we have. Valuing difference is the essence in synergy. Valuing difference is the essence in creating something more than just our own perspectives. And unfortunately, I didn't see this sense of valuing difference until recently, and it opened my perspective. So today, I hope that we can create our own standards with the goal to maximize whatever unique talent that we have. That we can create the space that allow all of us to exercise our synergy, exercise upon our differences, so that our eagles doesn't have to go swimming, but rather can use our flying skills to help those around us, so that our dolphins doesn't have to climb a mountain that it's not good at. We can swim and be an excellent swimmer, so that we're not just fit under the same standard, but rather create our standard for each and every one of us, so we can create the synergy and then maximize what we're here for. Okay, that leads us to the next step. How can we improve, right? Everything before, it was my notion of synergy. It was my understanding of synergy. It was why I thought synergy was important. However, I wish to hear yours, because I realize that for this is stage 11, right? So for 10, 8, 8, for 20 something stages, weeks, it's all my perspective on this, my perspective on this piece, my perspective on whatever this is. What about yours? What are your thoughts on synergy? And what do you think we should do to create more synergy in our lives? If you have an idea, feel free to unmute yourself, and I would love to hear about it. This is the second stage of what today is now, right? In practice, so Dr. Francis says, in practice, synergy may encourage us to seek collaboration. Okay, so Dr. Francis says synergy encourages collaboration, encourages working together, right? Okay. So Samuel says, try and play things out from other people's perspective. Definitely. It's all about exchanging perspectives, right? Valuing differences and draft out the best way forward. Okay. By the way, Samuel, since, right, I hope to make this transition, but I don't know how to make this transition possible. Since we're on this topic of your perspective, why don't you try to unmute yourself and explain a little bit of what you mean by play things out from other people's perspective? Is that okay?
Yeah. So just I guess just a quick summary. I don't want to like rant too long. Basically, I kind of like went through this with Danny as well. But
Yeah,
I think a lot of the times, it's really easy to jump on something when you don't have a clear understanding of it, especially when provoked by your own emotions.
yeah,
And I think a specific example of this is just like for me, it's with my parents. So like
mhm,
not all the time, like as kids, we don't always know what or why our parents do some of the things that they do.
yeah,
So like as I got older, I kind of like understood more, and I think it's important that in order to increase synergy, not only in like parental relationships but with relationships with other people,
mhm.
um, it's important to kind of try and play things out from other people's perspectives and see why people do some things that they do, even though it might not make sense at first.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool to understand, right? Seek first to understand why they do the things that they do, and why, um, in this case, your parents do the things that they do. So it sounds like parents synergy to you starts with relationship and family.
Yeah, I think you could say that.
Okay, okay, I think that's very, very cool. Family is a great way to start out whatever that we have, relationship wise, things that we are talking about here. Family is a great way to start. Um, Thank you for that, Samuel. Let's see. So Maddie says, having an open mind, knowing your truth isn't necessarily the only truth. That is so key, right? Maddie, would you want to also explain a little bit more on what you mean by open mind and the truth isn't the only truth? By the
Yeah,
way,
well,
I see Brian's face. What's up, Brian?
I think, well, having an open mind in general is just something that we should all strive to have because, like, if you have a closed mind, you won't learn from other people or you'll only see the world like as you see it, which is like what we're not trying to do. Um, and I guess what I mean by knowing that your truth isn't necessarily the only truth is that how you like experience a moment or like something in life, like that is your truth, but that doesn't mean that somebody else experienced it the same way as you. Um,
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of a good example.
yeah,
um,
that's very, very good.
but yeah, that's what I mean.
I absolutely agree with you, Maddie, that whatever we believe in and whatever we say, it's from our experiences in the past, right? For example, um, one anecdote that I can think of, Maddie, is when I first saw you today, I was like, yo, this is really cold today in California, right? It's kind of cold. It's kind of like not a lot of wind or, or not a lot of sun. And it's a little bit freezing outside. going for a run. And then Maddie showed me her backyard, and full of snow. It's full of snow, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I guess my coldness doesn't represent right that coldness right there. Thank you for that. I think that's very, very cool. Yeah. And Dr. Francis said also said that she wants to follow up on that thought. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you, Danny. I just wanted to say that I so agree with Maddie's thought, and I wanted to share a resource. So writer Chimamanda Adichie, I believe she's Nigerian, she had a TED Talk called The Dangers of a Single Story. I think it vividly illustrates the points or the point that Maddie made, which is our truth may not be the only truth, and the danger lies in the one single narrative. It may be true, but it's not the complete truth.
Yeah, going off of that, I don't want to get too deep, but going off of that, like I think that especially in schools, when they teach us history, they only teach it from the white colonial perspective rather than from, say, like, I don't know, the Native Americans' perspective or just anybody else's perspective. And so like as kids, we only learn that one truth, whereas there's so many other layers and things that we don't learn. And
Wow.
that doesn't mean that it's not true. It's just,
Yeah.
not what we know.
Wow. Yeah. I absolutely agree with you that the whole idea of the history and perspective is a single perspective, is something that doesn't represent the world or how everything is. I absolutely agree with you. That's so cool. By the way, Maddie, you're not going, or this is what this is for. This is the essence of synergy here. I love that. Thank you for bringing that up. Right? That's what we're here for. We're not here because we are speaking of something that must be true. But we're here to speak our minds and to expect and to experience and know the differences through other people's eyes. So thank you guys for expressing that. I really appreciate it. It definitely brightens my mind and lightens my perspective a lot. Let's see. So Cindy I said synergy is to synchronize individuals' energy together. Would you mind explaining a little bit more on this synchronizing?
Hi, yes. Absolutely, I agree with what Maddie was saying, and but I think that's more like adult understanding, So the reason I put that here was just happened to be I don't know if you noticed my background. It's kind of interesting. I had 4 colors and also as a white. So that was because I did not have a chance to switch my background. That was the background I was using to teach my students for this past week about synergy. That's why I was like, interesting when I saw your invitation. I said, oh, wow, that's, what a coincidence. It's about a synergy because what we've been doing was a program we were using to teach our students, each color of your personality. Everybody has your own personality, your own personality with a combination of 4 colors, so we use that so kids understand that easier. For example, the gold means taking responsibility. Blue is like a kindness, and orange is like a courage, and green is like a seeking for knowledge. But we also want to make sure that everybody, you understand that you have your strength, natural strength, like I'm naturally gold and blue, but somebody might be more like a knowledge-seeking type, green, or other people might just enjoy life so much, like have fun, that's orange. But everybody have your natural strength and weaknesses, but we all want to put together, work as a team. So that's synergy, and that's so interesting. Dr. Frances Wu was mentioned about her favorite animal was eagle. So that was actually my school's metaphor. I mean, school's what do you call that? Your school. What's the word? Your school mascot. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, school mascot is eagle, and also that's the one we use a hawk. Hawk is similar to eagle, so that's like because you need to be able to fly above, to be able to see. Sometimes, like in Chinese, old saying we say. 当局者迷，旁观者清 means the same thing. So like if you like try to fly above, outside of the situation, you can see things more clear. You can see help solve the conflict, stuff like that. That's why I was like teaching them about a synergy, how important to be a hawk or to be an eagle, as point of view that you get to see the synchronize of the put together of everybody's strengths, and then you can have a better teamwork and team solution. Then they were, because synergy, the word was a little hard for elementary kids to understand. That's why I told them, you guys know about energy, right? Everybody knows about energy. So I said, if you synchronize individuals' energy together, that makes a synergy. Does that make sense? So that's why I was like, what a coincidence. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Wow, that's so cool. I love the representation of the background with the 4 colors. That's what it means, right? So green is for knowledge.
Yep.
Red, orange is for fun.
Orange for taking risk, like those type of people, they are like a risk taker, and they are more going by like having fun, because those type of kids are usually they are the free spirit at school, and the troublemaker in the traditional education system, like they often being sent to the principal's office, that kind of kids. But they have their strengths too, because a lot of times we know this type of kids, when they grow up, they might be a good CEO of the company, because they are like a natural risk taker, and they are not like limited to a box of thinking. They are like out of box thinker. So that's orange. Yeah. And blue, the reason I like blue, dolphins, because we use dolphin as a blue representation for blue, because dolphin usually have a great heart, like a love, that type of thing, feeling oriented. So that's blue dolphin. And I'm more like a caring person, so I like dolphin myself. Yeah.
Dolphins are very, very intelligent. They're very caring.
Yeah.
And the yellow is
we call gold ant. Ant is like hardworking people, like hardworking. The ants, they always they are very goal oriented.
Yeah.
Like if they have they see their food somewhere, then they will just do whatever to get to reach their goal. That's they're goal oriented, and they are taking responsibility. So hardworking type. Yeah.
That's so cool. That reminds me of Dr. Francis. She's very, very hardworking. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you guys. Hey, this is, man, whoa. Because as I was preparing what my version synergy is, I was thinking, yeah, it's 1 + 1 does not always equal to 2. 1 + 1 can equal to 3, 4, and 10. And in this case, everyone's sharing about their perspective of synergy and the synergy example in their lives. Right? Samuel was saying the synergy within family. I love that example, because synergy within family, I think it's such a thing that we can just focus on today. And Cynthia, you were saying synergy within the classroom too. opening up these possibilities of saying some people are risk takers, but they're going to be the future CEOs. I think that's so cool. Especially also Maddie and Dr. Francis talking about open-mindedness and how our perspective really do matter. So wow, I love that. Is there anything to add, guys? Is there anything anyone wants to add on to this? I think I have a couple questions prepared for this, right? Oh, okay. Anything? Yeah. What are things you find important to a synergetic team? Anyone wants to add before we move on?
What's up?
Yes, Brian.
How's it going? Yeah, I just got here, so I don't really know like what the whole like general situation is. But to answer that question of like what is important for like a synergetic team, I think one of the most important things is communication, right? Like if you're able to like communicate within a team and you're able to like express your ideas across our teammates, then you're able to like collaborate and truly achieve your goals, right? And like, you know, like what Maddie was saying, how like different people might have different perspectives and your truth is certainly not others. And I think if you're able to communicate that truth well, and if you're able to find a middle ground, or if you're able to like just negotiate with one another, then that is going to move you guys forward a lot more than trying to stay away from one another and not communicate, right? And I
Yes.
think for synergy to happen, like Cindy was saying, how like it's synchronizing like all the collective together. And I think that is, you know, very important for like you know, a team to progress forward, you know.
Yeah, especially for I think Brian, you're in organizations right now too, right? There's a lot of communication within organizations. Is there any way of communication style that you find is synergetic, that allows people to communicate more? Right? Want to go a little bit deeper on this?
Any particular ways? I think nowadays during COVID, the best way is just to like, you know, breakout rooms. I don't know, you know,
Yeah, a lot of people.
they're a lot smaller. For me personally, I think I'm able to connect with a smaller group of people that are, you know, that are within a larger group, right? Like, I mean, in person, it might be like better if a larger group, right? But smaller setting virtually is easier. Then you don't cut other people off and able to like express your ideas better. And I prefer that, you know, more than like, excuse me, like a large group setting, to be able to really synergize the ideas. But
Yeah.
yeah, like given the whole situation, you know, the best way is to like get to know people individually as on like a personal level, and then able to express your ideas from there, right?
Yeah. Breakout rooms allow for one-on-one interactions. I do believe. I also like the bigger your I think the bigger topic you're saying about communication, how finding the middle ground, I'm finding something that everyone identifies with is a first step moving forward. It's something that in order to move forward together, we gotta be on the same page, right? We gotta be on the same team. And that's one thing that I actually forgot to mention here. So thank you for pointing that out right here. Thank you, Brian. Dr. Francis also assembling the team with a mutual understanding of each member's strength, personality type, and experiences. Yeah, that reminds me of the strength thing that we were doing, Francis. I like the three Clifton strength, right? And personality Myers-Briggs, assembling a team with just making sure we all understand who we are, right? Okay, so with that said, should we move on to the next topic then? Which is, I hope to call it the synergy experiment. Given all that synergy that we talked about, right, in theories, or how can we create more synergy within our lives? How can we create, right, more synergy with what we have right here? What about for this platform right here? How can we create synergy with what we have? What's your group mission statement, right? I would love to see, guys, where do you see DuoMore in the future? And what should our missions be in terms of synergy? So what's your perspective on our mission, right? Where do you see this? And where do you see this in the future? What do you guys think? I'm all open to hearing now.
I think these are big questions, definitely,
They're
and
big, yeah.
they're very big questions
And
for sure.
yeah. What do you see DuoMore in the future, Brian?
Yeah, I see DuoMore in 2 years. Definitely getting bigger, having a lot of influences on individual people's lives, and I want to be able to continuously carry out the mission of like us like fundamentally like transforming people's life through accountability, right? And like instilling people's like recognition of like, you know, what's out there, you know, that they're more than enough to achieve what they want to achieve, right? And I think that the inspiration that I've gotten, and I'm sure a lot of people have gotten from this experience, I want to be able to carry that out to a lot more people that's out there, you know. But yeah, like I just think that, you know, we're born to create impact, right?
So continue the inspiration and continue the accountability.
Yes,
Were those two the things that you find more helpful here?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is very true.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I do see that, right? This is a big question, right? A mission statement. Okay, how do we tackle this? But that's a really, really good point. Should we dive a little bit deeper on accountability? Right? How it's been helpful, I guess, and what can we improve upon our accountabilities? Yes. Okay, so Dr. Francis, we're saying, wait, sorry to cut you off here. Dr. Francis, we're saying, would it be helpful to share the current mission statement? Yes. The current mission statement, the only thing is, right, yes, let's see what we have in the current mission statement here. Okay, Dr. Francis, do you have any suggestions on how to craft a mission statement? So this is our current mission statement with the personal and interpersonal, right? Personally, how we crafted this was we asked each person of what one quality they find important in DuoMore. And then people are saying, want to seek discomfort, want to reflect, want to grow spiritually, and we all agree on this interpersonal, want to keep providing motivation, accountability, support, community, cooperation, and sharing. And that was our current one. However, I do recognize that this is just each individual, right? We said it in the past. Is there anything that we should build upon this? Or is there a way that we should say, hey, as a group, our mission should be blah, blah, blah. We should do blah, blah, blah.
Yes, hello. Sorry, yes, I have to. I forgot to raise my. I should raise my hand first. I forgot. Okay. Our mission. I just said sort of question to Bram, because Bram said, we will have more influential or cause more enlarge our influence, something like that. She talked. Yeah. She said that. So my question to him and to all of us and to you especially, how can we become more influential? How can we enlarge our influence to others? My suggestion, because nobody can bring about what we should do.
Yeah.
What we should do next week.
Yeah.
and in 2 years.
Yeah.
We should have a long-term plan. Then we work toward it.
Right.
First, my suggestion, try to be specific. We need to set up several projects. We work together.
Mm-hmm.
Or to make it simple, we set up, or you're the leader, we set up some topic we can discuss, we can debate. Then we can benefit from this talking.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Winnie told me that she come here because she want to learn life experience from us.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, for example, this week, we will talk about how to self-discipline, build up self-discipline because it's lacking. Or if you have a sad story, you tell us, we will share. So we will talk about that. Maybe you feel good. Or if you have a bitter argument with your brother or sister or siblings, and you feel sad, and how can we overcome this kind of thing? Set a specific topic, set up specific projects. So we work together. Everybody say, oh, I want this. I think we should do this. I can do this. I can do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rather than talking something is too far. If it is too far, people will get bored. Then they will, well, it's nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So first, that's your job to set up the projects we work together.
Yes.
Not the huge project, just a small one. For example, next week our topic is how to overcome the academic the difficulties you met in your school or in your college, or how to get set up a good relation with friends around you. Okay. How to talk to the stranger, for example, and that's your job. How to talk stranger. Okay, you join to our platform. How can you talk that?
Okay.
Right, kind of. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Yeah, we must set our goal very specific, very clear, simple, clear, and simple. Or we just have fun. Next week, we just have fun. We just free talk.
Free talk.
Yeah, maybe I can talk something Cindy like, or Francis like, or your mom likes. I can talk anything, or just crack jokes. That's it. I think Samuel and I forgot the name, Tataki. We should have entertainment. We need more fun. That's my talking with them. So it's kind of simple, specific projects and the topic at least.
Okay. Just understand, Alice. First of all, thank you so much for that. You always bring such good perspectives, and honestly, I really, really appreciate your perspectives. To understand a little bit more on the direction that you were talking about.
Yes.
So you're talking about some more specific directions and things that are more close and that are more in reach, right? So something similar to like family, maybe some family problems, and create like a safe environment so we all feel safe to talk about things rather than just having like a lecture, but more like an interpersonal community.
Yes. Yeah. I think find some topic everybody like to talk. So ask everybody to talk, to share. We'll have a lot of fun and a lot of meaningful things.
Yes.
Yeah, like the talking. I spent 1 hour with you. The talking, I benefit from this talking. I was enlightened, and I received the nutrition from this platform. Then we can have a lot of more people. Brian said we will have more people if we do not set a specific goal or do not put some meaningful action.
Yeah.
I don't think we will have more people.
So we need a specific,
in 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it's a hard truth, but honestly, Alice, this is my fault. I did not set a very, very specific goal in the beginning. To be honest, the first ever weekend, I was just like, yo, let's just see where this takes us. I was saying, hey, let's just keep going and see where this takes us. But like any run, any walking, any journey, there needs to be a goal. You're right. There needs to be a specific goal that we all identifies with. And that was my to I want to just come here and say that was my fault. I owe everyone a goal. But I hope that today I get to listen to your guys' goal and have the foundation so we can have this goal clear picture to see what's ahead and what's in the future. And Alice, you were saying the goal that you're proposing and you think is something that is interpersonal, is light, is fun, and it's specific. It allows people to get talking instead of
Yep.
right, and it allows people to connect to our daily lives instead of just saying, "Hey, this is the big picture," but also allows us to connect with what's here and now, right?
Yes, yeah. It's not your fault. We need time. Need time to adjust.
I'll
To
take.
keep adjusting. I listen to others. I listen to Samuel and the Tadaki because maybe they're young generation. They want to listen to me. That we're different, but we're the same.
Yeah.
We're the same. We put something in common. We bring it out first. Everybody said, "Okay, let's have fun first."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We gotta have fun before.
So that's your job to think how can
Yeah.
make it funny, make it interesting,
Yes.
people to talk. I like it because I take a lot of time to talk. Come here.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, by the
Maybe
way.
nobody like it.
No, it's essential. Your role is essential, and I really, really appreciate this perspective. Joshua Francis also says something in the chat, right? Let's see this.
Help people develop a health habit.
So she said, I believe the current mission is DuoMore exists to help people develop healthy habits to maximize life potential. That's an excellent mission. So we can start with this baseline and reevaluate if this mission is still appropriate or needs adjustment. Okay, so Dr. Francis, you're saying that the current mission seems to be helping people develop healthy habits and to maximize whatever we have right now, right?
That's good.
That's my understanding. I love that. At first, yeah, I also think that's really, really good. No, this is I really appreciate this perspective. You're not off. I really appreciate this perspective. I mean, essentially, what we're doing here, right? Healthy habits are essential to maximize our life potentials, and that is important. However, would you mind, for instance, if I asked you kind of what direction, what sets of habits do you think we should focus on?
What sets of habits? So Danny, I think through these modules, you have offered in a comprehensive and systemic way, quite a number of habits.
Yeah.
So I think for the purposes of the mission statement, you don't have to be specific as to what sets of habits. We're talking about mission statement, right?
Yes.
I think a mission statement should be general enough that it allows the organization to grow over time. So you don't want to restrict yourself to just 5 habits or 7 habits, right? But at the same time, you want it to be concrete enough that you are clear about the audience or potential audience that you intend to serve, whether it's 20 somethings, whether it's people in a specific geographical location, or I see DuoMore to extend its influence to young adults all over the world. So if that's the case, then I think you can appropriately indicate so in your mission statement. So I'm just staying on the task of developing mission statement that you've tasked us with.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Francis. And on top of development mission statement, I can also see kind of your idea for the future, your idea that what's important, and that is sounds like, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. People, target audience, making sure the group of people that are identified first before identifying specific, what should we do? Identify who the people are and how do we serve them. And that sounds like is how we put together the mission statement. I'm trying to find approach of how we should put together a mission statement that fits everyone's that fits what we agree on, the baseline. Is that the
Yeah, and Danny, if you want, I can send you some thoughts after the session today on developing a mission statement. But I think you have a very solid baseline to go off of. I don't think we have to start from scratch.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. So Dr. Francis said the focused target audience and to base the mission statement on our current helping with the healthy habits to maximize. Why do we do healthy habits? To maximize the potential that we have. While Alice, i.e., we're saying also how we do this, we must be in a fun environment to be able to create this developing healthy habits, right? So something along the line of develop habits to maximize in a fun and approachable interpersonal way. So that's what we have so far, right? Am I understanding correctly? I just want to make sure that I understand your guys' perspective here. Okay. So on top of that, then, since we're talking about target audience, right? Who do you guys think our target audience is in this? Or who do you guys see the target audience that you want to communicate with, that you want to interact with?
First, I think our target audience is not limited to age or occupation or whatever. Anybody, let's say anybody, anybody, then we depends on our topic. For example, Francis said this topic, so I immediately think that's a really good hot topic. If we talk that next week we'll talk about this, everybody contributes the idea to the discussion, then you work out a system, a systematic solution. What is a health package? For example, you when I talk with you, I want to watch my cell phone. Many people when friends talk, they keep watching the cell phone. That's a bad habit. Some people, most of them adults or young people or kids, they didn't realize that until when see that. So everybody, find a general topic, everybody can join. You do not limit, set the limit to or students or adults or, it's hard to limit. We're open to anyone.
Okay, I like that. So you're saying
I think, Francis can give us a lot of topic, and I can give you some topic, so people might be interested in.
Yeah, definitely. Shut up. So, okay, Dr. Francis said she has another commitment. Also, yeah, it is past 4. Hey guys, thank you guys so much. If you have commitments, feel free to go. I'll stay here a little bit after as well, but I really appreciate everyone's perspective on this topic today. There's one last season finale next week, and it's about returning sharpen the saw. It's about how we can repeat this process and to continue in this progress upwards. So thank you guys. You're free to leave, but I will stay here, and I will continue to work this out with you if you want to get a clarity on our mission, what your mission is, and what your interests are, what you're interested in. That's what I want to hope to gain an understanding of, what you're interested in, are. And Dr. Francis, her interest, right? We can clearly see about the healthy habits, and Alice IE's interest about just topic, fun, and creative open environment. And I love that because through that I get to see a little bit of what everyone's interests are. Sorry, Cindy, were you raising your hand?
Hi, Danny.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I raised my hand, but I got a phone call coming in, so I had to pick up the phone real quick. But anyways, I think, yeah, everybody contributes some great suggestions and ideas. And personally, I like that you have a system. You know, I think you have been doing a great job. You know, because otherwise, you know, it's no different from other groups. I really like the way you have the structure. You know, but I think we can do some combination, meaning that you know, to meet everybody's needs or interests. Maybe we can split this to like a half time, like you talk, and half time with a free sharing type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so this way, you know, anybody could, if they have a great topic, or if they have a good book or something, or like Alice said, she has a lot of great ideas, interesting topic. Anybody can just you know, say, hey, this week, you know, I had this great thing I would like to share. You know, that would be a lot of kind of a combination of both. You know, because for me, like I don't know if you saw my messages, private messages in WeChat you asked me about today. And I told you, yes, I was planning to join today's topic because just such a coincidence. I was teaching the students with the concept of synergy this week. But meanwhile, I have been trying to reach out a family friend, son. Actually, he's a I believe a junior student at Vanderbilt University. So when I talked to him last week or so, I was surprised that he's so you know, just by himself alone, because he came from Beijing, and now because of pandemic, you know, so there is no group, nobody he could talk to. So, you know, like I know that he was pretty much wanted to join the local church group, but because of pandemics, they stopped the you know, the Sunday you know, get together, and none of the fellowships were up on the running. So then I was like, you know, wow, you know, so do you have anybody to talk to? And he goes, I because of social distancing, I'm pretty much just staying in my own dorm. All day long, and nobody to talk to. So that's why I thought, you know, I was gonna invite, if it's okay, to invite him to join us, you know, here. That's when, yeah, when you guys talk about the future audience, I was thinking, if your mission statement was to try to help people get, you know, with their accountability and you know, the good habits. I think a lot of college students need that, or even high school students, college students need those type of good habits, because, and I also like what Brian was saying, you know, keep like with inspiration and help people with accountability. I think we do need to have those things there as the key point. So when we try to spread the word out to other people who needs help, at least we can say, oh, this group, this organization is about what? They try to help people with this and that. So there is a main topic. But I also like what Alice was saying. Yeah, life is fun. We do want to have, we don't want to, you know, just with all serious topic. In the beginning, maybe people think it's inspirational, but after a while, you know, they kind of, wow, this is too heavy. I mean, we just listened to Danny talk, you know, throughout the whole thing. And everybody wants to have their needs or their heart being heard by other people. So maybe as a combination, my suggestion would be, like I said, half and half. You know, you prepare something simple with a main, like we would say the bones, and then let's fill in the meats, you know, the meat part, you know. So as whoever can bring whatever interest to share, and then you will be so amazed that everybody, can contribute so much, and that's the truly synergy,
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Cindy Ai. I agree with you that the key pieces are there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like inspiration, healthy habits, accountability, but adding the fun part to topic, what Alice I were saying, right? How can we make it more?
Yes, I will. I will add the fun.
And I agree with you. I think in the future too, how about we structure in a way with the whole bigger picture, right? Allowing everyone to contribute, to conversation. And maybe, right, we just need a role that prepares the topics to kind of speaks on how to go about this topic. And then we just open the topic up. So we have, each individual topics and we open the topic up for discussion. We can either discuss in small groups, in big groups, that we can decide. We can make it fun. We can add activities here, but it will be based on the inspirational content. Healthy habits, accountability will also provide and improve upon accountability with the entire goal, right, of moving our lives forward, of achieving we're here created to achieve, to maximize our talent. Does that sound like something that fits our understanding based on Brian, Cindy, and Alice Ai, what you guys were saying? Does that sound like something that fits what we said before?
Yeah, I think definitely. And I also recommend that sometimes you can even just once in a while send out for example, a survey or Google form, something like that, and ask people about their interest topic. So this way, we can all contribute like what we would like to talk about. So, and then you don't have to, just by your own keep thinking what would be interesting, this group, what would be, that will be so hard for you. So I think this way you get some feedback from audience, and then that would be make your life easier, and also to meet everybody's interests.
Okay, so survey and get more feedback to know the future topics or future whatever we go on for the future, right?
Yeah,
I agree. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sorry, let me pause.
2 sentences. Yeah.
Yes.